Hey, everybody. How are you? Today is February 24th, 2021. And after I don't know how many days of blistering winds and freezing cold and snow and ice, we've got like 50 degrees and sunny. Still a little breezy, but very tolerable. So I'm definitely going to get out and take a long walk today. Just might have to duck behind a tree and get away from some of the sharp angles of the wind. So I put out a video regarding black ice and how it applies to spirituality. And I had a few questions that came to me. And so I thought I'd take a moment just to answer them. So let's visualize ourselves walking along and we hit black ice. What occurs? Our body goes in every which direction in order to find balance. And it's very difficult, whether it's 1 foot on black ice or it's two. And if you don't wind up falling, you wind up wrenching yourself all over the place. Some people can bounce back from that. I'm not one of them. I'll feel every ache and pain and twist and turn. But the point of that is sort of like all of the information that you've been taught, and then all of the possibilities that things may be different coming in, and then searching and researching different avenues and platforms to gain information until it becomes almost like you're on black ice. You don't quite know where your footing is, and you're moving all over the place energetically, trying to hang on to possibly what you've been taught and what your parents taught you, what their parents taught them, you may have taught your children, and to find out that a lot of this information is incorrect, and that there may be new ways of understanding history and truth. And so when you have the courage to explore that, then you begin to take in a lot of other people's thoughts, opinions, some of its historical findings, some of its scientific findings, whatever it may be that gives you your belief system. But it does knock you off your footing until you can get a handle on where do you place the information that you've been taught, and then how do you sift through new information, and most importantly is how does that information sift, filter, and feel within you? Not within anyone else in your family, not within any friends. How does it sit with you? You are entitled to have your own opinion, and it can be very, very opposite and different than anyone else's. Doesn't make you abnormal. It actually gives you the courage to find your normal, your balance, what has you ticking. So for me, I came in awake and I just knew stuff. I just knew stuff. And at a very, very young age, growing up in a very religious family, I knew that the books they were having me read and quote from were not correct. They just were not correct. And I often wondered why I had such feelings. But in those days, you could not express them. Okay, you had to sort of sit still with them and not ask a lot of questions or buck the system. And you were poked, prodded, and shamed if you did. So I just learned how to go through my grammar years being a real observer and letting things, float through my body on how I felt. Much of the time, I didn't have a choice on many things that I had to do, but I always understood it. And then, I had woke up one morning as a teenager and was basically told no preservatives, no preservatives. Now, at that time, there were not a lot of frozen foods. There were not a lot of fast foods out there. So I didn't quite understand what a preservative was, truly what it was. I also know that in part of my religious upbringing, my mother switched faiths, and we were eating a lot of imitation food. And that never settled well with me, because I thought to myself, if you don't eat meat, why do you imitate it? And what are you doing to make that look like a piece of bacon? What are you doing to make that look like a burger? What are you doing to make that look like a hot dog? What are you doing to make that look like cheese? Like, what are you doing? And it never settled well with me physically, and I was very much opposed to it. So I got into my adulthood as fast as I possibly could, the legal age that I possibly could. And then I allowed myself to just marinate and receive my messages on a daily basis. Tried really hard not to get too far ahead of myself. Now, I was adverse to reading. I didn't like a lot of reading and knowledge because some of it just it didn't all jive. There were portions of it that just somewhere in my inner knowing was missing, was very much missing. So in living my life through my intuitive, I also have had visits from Yeshua, and he called Jesus. And didn't really know at first, who he was, but I telepathically knew instantly who he was. And he would say, someday the truth will come out about my life, and it wasn't my battle. And there was another time when I went to massage school, and everybody was against me doing it in the 90s. I had no support. I was having a tough time with anatomy and physiology, the lecture part of it. So I would go for long walks and I would look to the sky and I would say, I need help. I need help. And I remember seeing this cloud shaped like a horse, and underneath of it was like this silver shiny thing. And one of my healers said, oh, that's Archangel Michael came to you. So fast forward a few more days, I'm walking and I'm like, I need help. And how does Jesus fit in with this Archangel Michael kind of thing? And are the angels and Yeshua connected? And I will never forget the cloud picture. It was a man that looked like pictures that I've seen that were of Jesus, Yeshua, a little bit of a beard, longer hair, and on both of his shoulders were little cherubs. I will never forget that. And it taught me that he is in all things, that the angelics and everyone are in all things, and that they answer. And so I struggled through the lecture part of massage school until I got a tutor and realized I had some learning issues, and I whipped right through it, and it was great. But the point is, I trusted my instincts going against everybody to go to school, to learn something that was very foreign to me. I also learned to trust my intuition and my spirituality, and it began to really, truly grow. I could be amongst people and I just know something. I can get messages and I don't have to question what group, who, where, what's their name, because that's a 3D linear left brain concept. It's just an essence of feeling the power of that part of that spirit, which is part of my spirit, which is me. So it's all me. So gosh, I could sit here forever and tape all my experiences, but let's fast forward to 2020 and 21 when we're all in this flux of everybody popping on here and saying, I'm channeling this person, I'm getting this information, this is what's going to happen with the elections, this is the intel that I'm getting. And, you know, you're not really getting all of the truth. You're getting bits and pieces. And that's okay because you're building your own customized puzzle called gathering information for your life. And that is what we are here for, is to gather information and to put it through our physical avatar with the thoughts and the feelings, the emotions, and then stepping out of that and putting it into our energy field. And how does it feel there? And then to see if we can tighten the wires between ourselves and those who are trying to send us messages, so we have a better connection with that. And you'd be surprised at all that you already do know that's actually important in this here, now, day, moment, time. And much of the things that you've been taught before don't even apply to what is happening today, now, in this minute, moment, week, whatever. So our brain is constantly flipping through windows, right? X them out, delete them, don't need them, right? But you always know you can go back and recall it if you choose to. But you can't have all these windows up. You can't have all this incoming through all of this supposed intel. But if you tune in to some of the people and just allow it to flow without looking at it in a linear word for word, sentence for sentence, end conclusion type thing, because that's not how spirit works. Spirit works in feelings versus trying to compose it into a limited language of words. So before you keep skidding on black ice, get your footing, tap in, tell your higher self, hey, I'm here, we're all connected now. I'm awake, I'm on this path. I'd like to understand and know more. And allow them to begin to communicate with you in ways that are unique to you. So mine comes in feeling, it comes in sight. I don't necessarily hear verbally, but there are those I know that hear verbally. And then I have a lot of people I know that get so frustrated saying, but I don't see. It's like, okay, focus on your hearing. Focus on your hearing. Okay, well, you focus on your feeling. Well, hey, maybe you're more for taking an intel and filtering it that way. So find a way that's unique to you that gives you that overwhelming, peaceful feeling that everything's okay. As long as you stay aligned, everything is okay and everything will begin to be even more okay. Just checking in to see if there was anything else that needed to come through on this particular video. But I think you got the picture. Got the picture. Align yourself. Know that you hold the power. And if you want to believe that you came in as the image of the divine creator, then own that image of the divine creator. Be the God self that you are. And know that everything is within you. Everything's within your DNA. It just has to be sparked and activated to shed some light on what's been hidden. So I hope that helps. So much light and love to each and every one of you. Appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell for all. And like it, hit the notification bell, leave me a nice message, and have an amazing day. Until the next video, bye.